The king's secret. The spring sun bathed Jerusalem in golden light as King David stood on the roof of his palace. From his vantage point, he could see the sprawling city below, its streets bustling with life. Yet his heart was restless. The army of Israel was away at war, besieging Rabbah, the capital of the Ammonites. But David, for reasons known only to him, had stayed behind. That evening, as the city quieted, David's eyes wandered to a nearby rooftop. There, a woman bathed, her form illuminated by the fading sunlight. She was breathtakingly beautiful. "Who is she?" David asked a servant. "She is Bathsheba, daughter of Eliam and wife of Uriah the Hittite," the servant replied. A wife. The words should have stopped David, but desire burned too brightly. He sent for her. Bathsheba came to the palace, and in the privacy of his chambers, David took what was not his to take. Days passed, and a message arrived from Bathsheba. She was pregnant. David's heart raced. This was no ordinary scandal. Bathsheba's husband, Uriah, was a soldier fighting in David's army. Desperate to cover his sin, David summoned Uriah back from the battlefield. Uriah arrived, loyal and unsuspecting. David welcomed him with feigned warmth. "How is the battle? How are the men?" he asked casually. "Everything goes well, my king," Uriah replied. "Good," David said. "Go home and rest. Spend time with your wife." But Uriah did not go home. Instead, he slept at the entrance of the palace with the king's servants. When David questioned him, Uriah answered, "The Ark of the Covenant and the army of Israel are in tents. How could I go to my house, eat and drink, and lie with my wife while my comrades are in the field? I will not do such a thing." David's plan had failed. Frustrated, he devised a darker scheme. He sent Uriah back to the front lines with a sealed letter to Joab, the army commander. The letter read, "Place Uriah where the fighting is fiercest, then withdraw from him so he will be struck down and die." Joab obeyed. During a fierce battle near the city walls, Uriah was killed as David had planned. When Bathsheba heard of her husband's death, she mourned. After her time of mourning, David brought her to his palace, and she became his wife. She bore him a son, and for a moment it seemed David's secret was safe. But the Lord saw everything. One day, the prophet Nathan came to David with a story. There were two men in a city. One was rich and had many sheep and cattle. The other was poor and had nothing but one little ewe lamb, which he loved like a daughter. One day, a traveler came to the rich man, but instead of taking from his own flock, he took the poor man's lamb to prepare a meal. David's anger burned. "The man who did this deserves to die." Nathan's voice rang out like thunder. "You are the man. You took the wife of Uriah and had him killed with the sword of the Ammonites. Now the sword will never depart from your house." David's heart broke under the weight of his sin. He fell to his knees. "I have sinned against the Lord." Nathan replied, "The Lord has taken away your sin. You are not going to die, but because of this, the child born to you will die." Days later, the child fell ill, and despite David's fasting and prayers, the child died. David grieved deeply, but eventually rose, washed, and worshiped the Lord. When asked why, he said, "While the child was alive, I fasted and wept, thinking, 'Who knows? The Lord may be gracious to me. But now that he is dead, why should I fast? I will go to him, but he will not return to me.'" In time, Bathsheba bore David another son, Solomon, whom the Lord loved. Though David's sin had devastating consequences, God's grace and plan for redemption remained. This sobering tale shows the destructive power of sin, the necessity of repentance, and the enduring grace of God even in the midst of judgment.